Welcome to another episode of the StoneLine Climbing Podcast. In this episode, I chat to Sam Weir. Sam is an American climber who now lives just outside of Chamonix in France. Sam is without doubt one of the biggest dark horse boulderers in the world. He's climbed multiple 8C plus V16 boulders and a huge amount of 8C and below. He is a big proponent of projecting and really loves getting stuck into hard boulders. We chat a lot about his process on these hard boulders and really his approach to trying them. Also a little bit about his approach to training for them specifically. Sam also works full-time outside of climbing. So he's spending kind of every spare moment he's got hitting the rocks or training for the projects that he's got. Sam, I think, has a really unique approach in that he is quite happy just going hard project to hard project. And as we chatted through the conversation, he hasn't spent loads of time building a base of volume or doing more mileage climbing, which is definitely something we differ on and is an interesting point of discussion. Sam is also a big fan of bouldering history and the scene, and he talks quite a bit about kind of what motivates him on particular boulders, which isn't always just difficulty. We take a bit of a dive into things like skin, conditions, small holds, and really what it takes to operate on projects near your limit. Hope you enjoy this one with Sam, and let us know what you think.
Yeah, perfect. How's it going?
Good, man. So just climbing in Fionnay, hanging out, training. And then funnily, all the young guys from Sheffield, Leo. Because I met Leo back in with you and Sully. I remember the little cigarillos back in the day. But anyways, him, Matt, I don't know all their names. Super rowdy bunch. It's fun. Yeah. So I went up to Fionnay yesterday. My mom's visiting me, and we went out there and ran into all them. So cool to run into all them. But yeah, I just came back from England for the first time. Yeah. And I was blown away by that. Like some of the young kids were commenting, like, "Are you lost? This, that." I thought it was amazing.
You were in. I guess you were in the Peak a bit, but were you in Yorkshire as well for quite a bit of it?
I don't even know where that's at, man. I couldn't tell you.
You're on Sandstone.
I went to the Peak, and Jim Pope took us to this really obscure area in the Peak, and we hiked like 2 hours through like marshy land to get up there. And he did a really cool first descent. I don't know how hard it is, but he's good on the grit, so I'm sure it's hard. It's like double compression on this like spire thing. Right. I didn't try it because you start on like maybe 2 meters up on a pedestal on a suspended boulder. Yeah. And then he was just full on like slapping, you guys call it like the skrittle. So we just there were like 4 Sams and an older guy named Bob from Sheffield that like showed us the area. So it was cool. But yeah, man, I'm going to come back for a real trip. I want to, Dom was telling me that I should come check out, all your zones, see some whale stuff, and then maybe do like a month trip where I take the van, and when the weather's bad, I'll work. And when it's good, I'll, just the 4 or 5 hours each direction, whatever's climbing.
Yeah, because within like 3 or 4 hours, you can get to like a shitload of stuff. That's all like really different and like good in different seasons as well.
Yeah. I was thinking like the limestone. I was surprised like it fits me quite well. So I want to see, it made me want to go check out Terra Nova. It's just so much talked about. Like, want to go see what it's all about. Because like over the years, like grades make even less sense to me now. Or like everything made sense when like Hypnotized Minds was 8C.
Right. Okay.
And now that's 8C plus, everything is different. So like when Daniel was, like there was always a big difference between like a Daniel boulder and a Dave boulder, so like Daniel boulder's got 2 ascents at 8B plus, and then, we all could, do Dave's, but I mean, it's just how it's evolved. So yeah, I don't even know where I was going with all that, but
why do you think Hypno was 8C for so long?
I personally like that it is 8C.
Okay.
And I would still call it that, I think. And then it makes a lot of things that need to get downgraded, but then it makes, all this 9A talk and 8C plus talk a lot more clear, I would say. But that's like a whole nother conversation about, like for me, the grades, maybe they're correct now and he wasn't, but when that was 8C plus made sense, and it's hard, And now 8C plus, there's easy ones, hard ones, and you don't even know if it's 8C plus, because a lot of them Daniel would have called 8C. Yeah. So then does 9A even exist is the bigger question. Yeah. My one buddy on Instagram, he told me, he's like, his new thing is 8C is still fucking hard. 8C plus is gnarly and 9A doesn't exist. So I'm curious, it's hard to say. And even like, I can't say that I'm doing the same boulder as you when, you've got 10 inches less of reach. You don't weigh the same as me. Like it's so personal. So that's the hardest part about climbing, I think. So
there's like, if you take then, I don't know, what would you say is like a benchmark 8C?
Benchmark 8C?
Something like La Force? Would you put La Force in there?
That's a great example.
Okay. Let's take La Force then. What would you think of like a benchmark 8C plus? I was going to say I don't think Poison was like maybe 9A or harder.
It's based on, I don't do Aiden's beta on arrival, but I'm making quicker process and feeling good on arrival already. Where Poison, well, it's hard to say because sending all of arrival is cumulative. I think it's cumulatively harder than Poison, but Poison has a move that is much harder than anything on arrival. But I will say I don't do Aiden's method at the end. And I did do it his way, but it's hard. And, there's like this heel hook move, and he never even talked about it as like a hard move. And I've climbed on it with quite a few people, and it's the hardest move of the whole boulder, actually. And he would like, he could like chalk up and reach up, and all of us took me like 8 days to do that. And then I finally found another way. But so I would say Poison would be benchmark 8C plus. And then I think also it's less my style, but Clément Lechaptois' permanent sit is hard, like the permanent low start. You do at least, I don't know, I'm just starting to work it, but I'd say you already do 8C or 8C plus to get into the stand, and then you got to do an 8A plus.
Yeah, okay.
So
I don't know what that works. I think 8B into 8C is 9A. Like, that's one, concoction of how you can get
Which about arrival, I would say it's like 8B to get into the stand.
Yeah.
And then about 8C crimping.
Okay.
So
does that make sense to you then to have like, La Force, Poison, and Arrival as like three?
That would be 3 good steps, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But in my style, I can give them way better. So like I can crimp and
sense, isn't it?
Yeah. So I can't say anything about, a heel hook boulder and, bigger pinches and more powerful climbing. So like I'm good if I can just move slow and control the holds.
Yeah.
So, and like La Force is actually that. I used to think I thought it was a heel hook boulder, and it's not at all. Like everybody talks about the heel, and all I did, I just got a little stronger in the left shoulder, and then the heel, you just place it and you just reach up if you've got the back strength.
Yeah.
And I was like blown away the difference of like coming back a couple years later from when I tried it when you guys were all hanging out. Like I could do the moves and it was doable. Then I came back having like, a level above it. So then you could play with it. Yeah. So then I saw what it actually, it could be a heel hook boulder if you don't have the level. But then if you got the back, it's just like slow and steady.
Yeah. What do you think made, like, obviously how many years was there between that 2022 and when you were trying it and then when you did it? Was it 24 you did it?
I did it last spring, so 2025. Okay. So I think it was a 3-year break.
Right. What do you feel like you gained in those, obviously like the back and that like positional strength?
Yeah.
Do you think that was just from more climbing, or was that more board climbing, or was that, what do you think that was?
Honestly, I started lifting weights,
Really?
So I never trained ever. I think it's the board as well, so I actually don't know because I'm doing both at the same time. But basically, I moved up here by Chamonix, and I built like, British style 53-degree board with just ratters the whole way around. So I do that and then just incorporated some basic weightlifting. And I think, I'm always scrawny, and just that little extra, you can only crimp for 45 minutes for real. So then just getting myself actually tired, I think. But I think I would have to say, over the years, I always put the climbing first. Like my training is like a supplement to me wanting to rock climb. Because, you know how it is. You got the strongest guy in the world, even on a hangboard, I can't do much. But then you get me on any hold outside ever, I'm never like, oh, the holds are the problem. It's the back, the movement, and it's rock climbing that's the problem. Like you got to learn how to move over the rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting the back stronger, just doing some weighted pull-ups, basic training.
Yeah.
And it correlates so well, bad feet, bad holds. And in the style that I like to do, it's the exact same on rock almost. If you know, but that's based on, basically not training for the first 12 years of climbing and started. Now I'm getting older. So, going on 35. And I think just a little bit of that weightlifting really helped. I tried creatine and I was I was taking creatine for a year and it like bulked me up a bit. And then to do poison, maybe I would have done it the first season, but I cut the creatine after I went on a trip to Mallorca. And I was just like, came back from Mallorca and I had like all these board projects and I did them all in the same day after, like I cut the creatine and maybe it's like you lose 3 kilos.
Do you think it was 3 for you?
I don't even know how to describe it. You feel strong and happy.
Yeah.
But then you just kind of feel heavy. Like, I don't know, something in the gut a little bit. Never felt it in the fingers. Or I thought I didn't. And then I lost like the 2 kilos of water weight. Yeah. And I could like do whatever I wanted.
You're like turbocharged.
Yeah, so now it's a thing maybe I'll play with, see if that was it or not. But yeah, I just started incorporating some basic and just steadily, I do my like 2 board sessions a week. I'm strong like once a week. Tuesday, have a great session. And then I go through the motions on Thursday. But like, I can really only be strong, I'd say once a week. If it's from actually trying to be like doing hard things.
Yeah. So if you have like a hard session on a Tuesday then, and you're trying like limit stuff, and then you rest Wednesday, and you say like you might go through the motions on a Thursday, what would that look like? Would that be trying easier boulders or trying the same boulders, just accepting you're not going to feel as good?
Yeah, I normally have a routine. So like I have boulders that I've opened and I know they're benchmarks. This is my like, 6, we stop at 7C plus. So we don't know how hard they are. Yeah. But anyways, I've got my routine. So I always try, at least so I'm sending something. I go through like 3 or 4 boulders and then I'll still work it. And then I make a judgment call. Like if my fingers are fried from Tuesday, I'm not going to grab the crimps. And then I'll go more like Clément Lechaptois. He's like my main climbing partner on the board. And he's like really good on like fat pinches, losing feet. So I'll like try to open a boulder for him. And then I'll like barely do the moves and he'll flash it. And it's my project for a year. Tuesday's like crimping. Thursday would be, the just more powerful open hand stuff. And then, just going through that, like, and then strong for the weekend. If I think I can send my project outside, then that would be 2 rest days, go to send. If I'm going to work it, then I'll climb outside like Saturday, Sunday. So I don't climb that much anymore. I do like 3 or 4 max in a week. And before, maybe I was stronger when I was 25 in Colorado, but I was hiking. I was going up there 5 days a week to Rocky Mountain National Park, and you hike 5 miles round trip, get home at 1 a.m., go to work, go back out.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know, progression's a weird thing. I might've just been tired for 6 years.
Yeah. All right. I want to rewind a bit then. Cause obviously, I mean, you're talking about living in Chamonix, but you're American.
Yeah.
How did you, just like quickly, how did you get into climbing, and then how did you end up coming over to Europe? Because it was around 2020 or something.
Yeah, 2020 I came over. Yeah. I came the first time in 2016. Was not prepared. And so I started a master's program and like just life got crazy on me and like got scared and went home and then came back again and then made it happen. But yeah, so I started climbing in 2012 for real. I guess I'd had some experience, like, I had done like a 5-5 multi-pitch with my brother. But in 2012, I was climbing, or I was going to university at the University of Pennsylvania. And there was this bouldering area and I just wanted to check it out. And I ran into a guy named Jim Bowers. He's like an old guy, but he would I just like, we became friends and he just started touring me around the place. Never had grades, nothing. But then luckily he had a really good friend and his name was Brian McCall. And this guy was Pennsylvania's, like one of the strongest guys in Pennsylvania. And he kind of took me and my brother under his wing. And he was climbing, in the V10 range. But he took us through all the grades, never would even say what they are. We'd send, he'd give us the next one. And we just went through that for, I think, what I was in Pennsylvania from 2012 to 2015. Right. And just, attached the hip with this guy, Brian. And he kind of showed us the way, being outside. And to go quickly through it, he's kind of the one, he worked full time, and he just kind of talked to us about it. You know, you always want to be in a pro would be a cool ideal, but he's like, look, I'm out here all the time with you guys and I work full time and I'm still doing the same boulders. And then honestly, I think I couldn't do any more than I'm doing in terms of volume. Like maybe I didn't start when I was young enough, so I get tired pretty quick. So I can go hard for a bit, but I don't have that volume where you see some of these kids, they can bust out like 10-hour sessions and still be strong. It's impressive. I'm strong for like an hour. But yeah, so went through all that and then moved to Colorado, you know, like most people. And that's kind of where, you know, you start to feel the pressure. And that was it was great for my climbing, but also terrible mentally, you know. You're like on 8A, there was a couple of us, you know, that all were pretty good. You know, there's like Dave and Daniel at the forefront. There's this guy, Austin Purdy, Tristan Chen, and just a couple of us that climbed at like the detention facility that all were doing pretty hard boulders. And really nice guys. But, you know, any one of them, you know, they all work full time, but they all kind of like me, maybe could have made it, but they never went down that path. So was doing that. But honestly, for me, Colorado was quite toxic. You know, you're like, oh, if I send that 8C this week, or at least that's me, you know, like it made it competitive.
Okay.
And in my head, I was getting sick of that. And I met a French guy on a trip to Bishop and became my best friend. But he's like, man, school's free in France. You should come over to France. And he just he's the first person I ever met that traveled. Right. And I was like, man, this guy's from France, like just bumming around, climbing. And I was like, I want to get to France, but I was too scared to do what he did. You know, he's just by like the whim of his backpack. Where like me, I like took it slow, just started learning French like while I was still working at the University of Colorado.
You knew no French up to that point?
No, nothing. Yeah. My sisters had done lessons, but, you know, it's kind of like me, like if I want to do it, I was, you know, my job was, I was working as a financial controller, but you got two screens. One is like learning French and the other one's Excel sheets. Yeah. So every day, you know, doing a couple hours of French, and then and I'm quite like reserved. So I never spoke a word of French before I moved here. Right. But in my head, I got pretty fluent. Like I could read, I could write, but never said a word. And then I got here, and luckily it was an international program. It was all in French, but I got to speak with, you know, people that it wasn't their first language. So that really helped learn French. But yeah, I did all that honestly because I wanted to get out of Boulder and all of that. Maybe it's like Sheffield, you know, it's everybody knows everybody who did this, who did that, who's dating who. And I think I needed to move on from that, and France seemed like the best option to get to Europe. If I could have just moved with the work visa, I would have, but it's the easiest way to get into a country is, you know, through school. Yeah. Got a job after that, and then honestly, I just like the European lifestyle so much more. You know, used to make a lot more money, but now I've got 6 weeks vacation, and before I had 10 days. Wow. So it takes all the pressure off of like pressure on trying to send something on a trip. I don't even do that anymore. Yeah. Like I was talking to Daniel, and I don't know, a couple weeks ago, because he was trying Hypno maybe a couple months ago. And I was like, man, it's so impressive his level that, you know, from 15 to, I don't know, say 30, doing 8C plus 8C, but always traveling, no training. Yeah. Like I can't do what I do without the structure. Yeah. And so like I need that. Like I've got my little routine, you know, do my morning stretching, I drink my coffee, get online, go to my board around the same time. Yeah. And I know Saturday is the day I need to try hard. Yeah. But like I find that amazing. Like things
they have to try hard like any random day of the week. And then go from one place to the next place. Maybe you're home for a couple of weeks, then you might be somewhere else. And there's insane. No routine, is there, probably, to that life? No, I mean it even shows the level even more. That, you know, like him, Nale, these guys, you know, that inspired us the most. I think they had. I mean, Daniel, I think, you know, would have done 9A had 9A existed. You know, it's just Chad Greedy, really good guy in Colorado, but, you know, he was just going out finding projects for Dave and Daniel. Yeah. And I think if Chad would have stumbled upon the 9A, or, you know, when he did Define Gravity, had Chad said we should start down there, Daniel would have done it. Like, so it's just funny. It's just like the evolution through time. And, but I mean, those guys had to, they were working as well from like all of the stuff that was there before them that maybe Dave and Chris did, and then
exactly,
Fred and Clem and Burn and those guys before that. So they had all that shit to work through. But actually, what's quite cool, I think, is that they'd worked through the majority of that stuff by like the early 2010s. And then at that point, they were it was almost like they were doing it for each other at that point. You know, Dave would put something up, Daniel go and repeat it. Nale would put something up, Dave and Daniel go and do it. And it's just this, this conveyor belt of them just doing 8C plus things and then going around and repeating them.
And they were all in the same city. And, Nale was always over in Colorado, or Dave and Daniel in Europe. So I don't know how great of friends they are, like, I don't know, but they all climb together, and just, that's been a huge thing. I said the pull-ups and the board climbing, but honestly, climbing with somebody that's better than me, like Clement, like on a board and all of that, he's good. So just climbing with somebody that's better than me has helped so much. Makes you want to try harder.
Yeah.
And even if, he flashes my boulder, I'll work it for a year. But then, like, I've got my thing where it's like tension on bad feet on a crimp, and then he'll work that. So it's motivating. And like his partner as well.
I was going to ask, because you mentioned on 8A when you chatted to the guy about poison, you said you kind of spent the summer before you did it almost like training your anti-style a bit. Was that stuff on the board with Clem, or was that outside? Or
No, I was mainly outside. I was just projecting Solitary Days, which I just finished a couple weeks ago. So I tried to just do anti-style stuff, but mainly because you can't really crimp in the summer. It's too hot. But I think it just lets the fingers recover a couple of months. Like when I went to Mallorca, you never want to rest, but then I did like 2 weeks chill. And then you just realize at what point you actually were tired. So you never know, like when you're in a hole, you can still try hard and climb hard. But then I realized at what point my fingers, even like Arrival in the spring, like I had a really good session, and then I wasn't ready to do it yet, but I was like, man, I'm going to do it. And then the next session, like mentally it just started crumbling, where I was doing every move, as the warm up, which is like a good sign to start giving tries. And then it just went downhill. So like in the end, like ruined my nerve endings on my fingertips.
Wow.
And they're just coming back. Like, so it's been a month, I guess, a month and a half. And now I can like feel my fingers again. But yeah, just my fingers, I think, were destroyed. And I started regressing. There's this like one lock off move, and I never would fall on it. So I never even worked it. I was like, oh, I'll just do it from the bottom.
Yeah.
And some people think it's like the harder move, but it's like a hand foot and you lock off. And then by the end, I was like starting to be unstable and falling. And I'm like, man, something's wrong. So I kind of just did one last session and didn't want to end on a bad note. But like, yeah, you get tired. That crimping's hard on the joints, I think, and stuff. I never got hurt, but micro things that just skin, couldn't hold the holds anymore, just like resting.
That's, I guess, like on your mind now for the end of this year when it gets cold again.
Yeah, if we want to talk like you said, like that's why I said I wanted to do the podcast, is not really talk about training, but more we talk about tactics, how you approach something. And honestly, I learned a lot from you just back, you had your old YouTube channel where, like you tell people to go get on the boulders, like try them, because you don't know what 8B plus is until you try it. And the funny thing is, like I always tell my buddies, I had my one friend, John, like my best friend, and he was climbing 8A, and like I saw that he could do harder. I'm like, John, go try the ice knife, man. You can do it. And then I got him psyched on this thing called Echelay as well. And he went out and tried it, and he would have done the ice knife. And then Echelay, he got really close, but I got him a little too psyched too quick, and he like popped a pinky pulley. But he realized it's like, 8C is not that much different than, I don't know for you, but it's not that much different than say 8A plus, where you just got to put two together. Yeah. So it's like, it's rare that you find moves that are way above like that 8A plus level. You just got to be able to climb well and put them together. So like, that's like what I like geeking out on is, cause that was my thing, is like, I remember, I had my ex-girlfriend, she was this little Iranian girl. She was really, really strong. But I remember one time she's just like, Sam, you are so weak. The only thing you have is fingers. And, I had done 8B plus, I think, never trained, and like, all the tension guys and this and that, they destroy me. In the gym, I was climbing like V6. Right. And outside, I got up to V14. Yeah. And these guys, I remember, there's always like a joke at how bad I am. And like, they don't, like, it's almost unbelievable that like the correlation between rock and plastic, the difference, between the two. And that's what I love about climbing, is bad in the gym, but like it doesn't matter when you get on the rock.
I think that's like that's a style thing, isn't it? I think generally people who have a fingery style like you and I do,
Yeah.
we look like shit in the gym.
Yeah, I can't do anything.
And then outside you're able to actually use what the finger strength that you've got.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe move better as well because you've not been reliant as much on that strength.
Yeah. Are you strong on a fingerboard?
No shit. Totally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say is like I remember when I first started climbing, like small holds, I could always grab everything from like day one. I mean, I've hurt all my fingers, but never had a pulley injury, but I have a finger, you're like, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. And then it hurts for 6 months. You know, you keep going and then it just is like, I guess I've had inflammation in like every one, but my fingers have always been like from day one, the strong point. Yeah. And I got these like fat hands, but like midget fingers. So and I think it's just, you know, genetics, you know, there's not as much lever.
Yeah. So
like got short, stubby fingers and there's not much to bend or it's not pulling on the pulleys as hard. Where my brother's he does a bit of everything, but he gets psyched like once a year and then he'll do like an 8A plus or something and then go work on his airplane for a year. So he's better than me. He would be if like all he did was hammer the climbing. Yeah. It's kind of funny. What'd you say?
He like dips in and out of
yeah, he gets well now he's super into airplanes, so he's a pilot and
oh sick.
Yeah, airplanes, got really into whitewater kayaking, did some ultra marathons. He like sets an objective, like something random, and then goes all in for like a year. But then when I come back,
like, obsessive.
Yeah, I mean that's how I am with anything. You know, learning French, climbing, but I just love it. Before that, you know, I was really into the BMX scene. That's how I met Jim Bowen. You know, he makes the cool holds, and we really clicked because I was really into the BMX trail scene in Pennsylvania. And my dream was to go to England because there's really famous BMX trails all over England. And the Brits would come to Pennsylvania and the pros, and they would ride our trails and stuff. And my dream was, you know, ride the trails in England. But yeah, I used to think BMX, I was going to do it for life. And then I found climbing, and the first couple of years, I would only climb in the winter when it was cold. So I'd climb like 4 months a year and just BMX. So it was still a side thing for the first couple of years. And then once I got to Colorado, like 2015, I went all in. Yeah. So but yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Go back to Arrival then. So how much did you try that at the start of this year? And I guess what are you doing between now and when the conditions get good to...
So I did Poison, which I probably should have taken a break, honestly. Like, didn't really appreciate the fact that I said, but you know, that's kind of a little side tangent, but the least favorite part of climbing for me is the actual send. I love finding a move that I can't do or a boulder. So, you know, like my buddies, they want to do 8C and this and that or whatever. And they're like, I'm like, I know you can do 8A. Like, get on the thing you want to do and work on that. Like, you don't need to prove to me you can do the 8A. I know you're going to do. So it's like, I've always been more like, I try to find what I can't do. And even, you know, as my level will decrease, obviously, as time goes on, I just like pushing myself. And when I started climbing, my brother and I, we actually, the first years, I just big wall climbed, was bouldering for fun. Yeah. And we were going to Yosemite big wall climbing. And that's what I thought was cool. Right. So like, but then me and my brother, you know, parted ways, and he works in California and I was in Colorado. So you lost a partner.
Yeah.
So that got me into bouldering, you know, working full time. It's easy. But back to Arrival. Yeah, so I hopped right in. I should have taken a moment to like be stoked on Poison and take 2 weeks off or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next day, I got on Arrival.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And honestly, that went really well.
Or had you tried it before?
No, I never tried it.
Okay.
I saw it like 10 years ago with my buddy John. We were on a Ticino trip, and maybe not 10. That'd be a lie. Probably like 2019 when I was trying REM. So 2019, and I was like, dude, somebody could do that, I bet. And he's like, dude, you're an idiot. Nobody ever could do that. And then sure enough, you know, Aiden comes and does it. And I was like, oh man, like the only thing I touched was, you know, like that, there's this like famous right-hand crimp on it. And I'm like, you see there's pockets. And I was like, oh, somebody maybe. And then I never really thought about the beginning or where it would start, but I just saw that there was holds. So that got me really excited. And I've always been good when it's kind of less steep and it's all in the fingers and feet. because my fingers, I don't think they're that strong, at least on paper, but I put a lot of weight through my feet. I remember one time in Colorado, my buddy's like, we were trying the same boulder and I was putting a hole through my shoe, like on the tip of it. And he's like, dude, I don't know how you do that. Like, and I think I drive a lot through the feet. So my fingers, they stabilize me, but I think I use my feet a lot. At least in my,
do you think that's like a,
I think climbing in Pennsylvania and climbing with this guy, Brian, he really taught me and my brother how to climb, which was cool. And just copying him, you know? You know, saw his style, saw how he climbed. He was a bigger guy, like really good on the compression, but he could still crimp. But was always about, you know, he taught me about micro beta, big projects, and, you know, thinking long term. Like, you don't need to send next week. So he got us really into that, like, long term thing. And that's what I love the most. So, like, Arrival, like, after Poison, you know, obviously I'd like to try to do 9A if it is or whatever. And that was, like, the logical one because, you know, I tried Alphane and that goes well. But honestly, I don't really like it. You know, kind of traversing and, you know, I kind of like a clean cut thing if I can. So that was, like, in my style. And if I could do something hard, that'd be the one. And it's not far from home. Like, I would never travel. Love to check out Aiden's stuff, but I would never do 9A if I had to travel to do it. You know, I drive 4 hours and I'm at home and do one session a week on it. Yeah, I started trying that,
You start trying, so straight after doing Poison, and then how long? I guess how long
and then
feel like, okay, this is possible?
Honestly, I knew it was possible the first session, except that move with the heel hook that Aiden did up top.
Right.
And then 3 days later, Sean drops his dyno beta, you know?
Right.
And I've done the jump once, so I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. Even if I fall there from the bottom 80 times, that's the way.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. Like, I did the jump once and could never do it again. And he's really good. Like, so what he did, you know, people say it's easier, this or that. The start's a little bit, you know, I'm starting like Aiden did. I don't know. I think over time, I don't know what you think about that, but, you know, is a start position, or is that open to interpretation when a video is not posted and there's not communication? Anyways, but what Sean did is just as hard.
Okay.
But it makes me question, you know, like, what is a start? Is it open to interpretation?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I worked it. Like this lock off move, you know, it's like the old stand. There was like his old project where he fell on the top out, came back stronger, and then added 2 moves. So on that, I was really good on it. So I was like, okay, I need to work the beginning, and then got a hold of the video how Aiden did it, and then he climbs pretty similar to me, just stronger. So then saw how he did the first moves and then unlocked that. So probably like 5 or 6 sessions before I started believing. And then I was just focusing on trying to learn that heel hook move or then the jump. And I knew something was wrong. I was like, there's got to be another way. You know, that's my thing, is like, even the day I did Poison, every single session, I'm looking for another way. Always, like, maybe I missed something like 20 sessions deep and I'm still looking. So like on Arrival, I finally found I could do like this footwalk and I can static the jump. So like, it's like Sean's beta. So you don't go out right, don't do the heel hook. And I found a way to do that. And I found that in January.
Right.
So I worked it October, took a December. I didn't go because it was really cold. So just trained for a month and board climbed.
Right.
And then first session back, you know, climbing Jane and her husband came out, and just having some people there. It's kind of like, it's not that fun of an area to be in. No. I'm up there all alone, crimping hard, and it's kind of like a bog.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's not that fun. It gets pretty depressing pretty quick. Like, where Poison, you know, sometimes it's annoying, but there's always somebody to chat to on Pamplemousse. So I've been up there fighting my own little war, and then they came up and got some power spots, and Jim came out with my friend from Colorado as well, Herm. He's an older guy that he's been in this scene forever, and it was just fun. And I was like twice as strong. Like, it's funny how that works. Just having somebody behind you that believes a little bit in you or something. So then I found that.
Do you prefer then to climb with other people than to climb on your own?
I prefer to climb on my own for the most part.
Right. But you feel like having other people around kind of...
That boosted me up. Even this morning before this, like, because I'm going to Rome because my mom's here. We're going to go tour around Italy a bit. But I went in at 8 a.m. to go train. And it was so hard. And then Clem texted me. He's like, oh, yeah, dude, I'll come. You want a coffee? And he came in. And then all of a sudden, you know, like, some days I need it. But I'm pretty good at because Clem travels a lot. He's a pro, you know, so I'm alone 90% of the time on the board, and can self-motivate, you know, everything I do, like even if it's a V2, it's a rival, you know, like every pull up, like anything I do, you know, that's me sending. Just like, I'm just like, imagine you're at the last move and you're like pumped. You just got to pull this move off. You know, like I just kind of treat everything like that, or I don't want to do I hate lifting weights, you know, just like move an iron around. So it's like, I have to give it some kind of context in my brain to make me want to do it.
Yeah, I think there's got to be the goal, isn't there? If there's not the goal, it's kind of, you're doing it just for the sake of it.
Yeah, that's, if I don't have, I mean, I love rock climbing, do it forever, but I need a goal. Like I don't go into my board just, I'll play around, but I like having a goal, and it helps me drive. I mean, but I'm always like that. If it was French before, like my climbing, you know, I kind of dropped off hard in 2020, and for 2 years, I didn't really climb outside. I was just in school, gained some weight, you know, just sport climbing in the south of France.
Yeah.
And then I like went bouldering again for the first time. And I was like, man, I love this. And then like went full back in, and then was able to move from the south of France up to Geneva area in Switzerland, and been full on with that. And a great community. Like that's what I was saying, is like moving from Colorado to here. I do, like that's the one thing, is you got to do what you want. There's so much information online, and everybody's strong. Like, so you got to, like now I have a list of what I have to do before I'm too old. You know, just like 4 boulders.
Right. Okay.
You know?
So you keep your list quite small then. It's just like...
Oh, always. Like everything. I don't care if I send 50 boulders that I know I can send. I'd rather not succeed on the 3 that I told myself I really wanted to do. Like, I mean, I love climbing, moving on rock, but I don't need to do every boulder in the world, you know? Or like I have a list of
ones that mean something to you.
Yeah, like I would love, I don't know if it'll work out, just Colorado's an expensive trip now. So, I mean, I'd love to go finish Hypnotized Minds. That one, it's maybe the thing I've worked the most and was really close and then moved away. But now I think, at least in my brain, I think I would just go do it. Yeah. Like I got the back strength that I was missing to make it happen before, to like just have that little like La Force, just have that 10% more than the boulder needs. And because the stand on Hypno, I would run laps on that, but the beginning actually was the crux for me. I think much like Daniel, there's this big span move. I'm tall, like 180, but got short arms, so full limit span. Yeah. So like Dave and you know, Matt and these guys never saw him fall once before this like mini pinch. Wow. Where like if I got through the beginning, so it's either like, I don't know, can't say how hard it is, but like maybe 7C, and I feel like I'm doing 8B or 8B plus to get to the 8B plus.
Yeah, okay.
Just a quick break to tell you about our online course, Mastering Stone. The course is over 6 hours of video lessons filmed in Fontainebleau, where I walk you step by step through my approach to outdoor bouldering, covering tactics, technique, and how to actually get better on rock. The course is all about the small details, the 1% improvements that, over time, helped me climb multiple 8C boulders and nearly 500 problems in the 8th grade. And if you've ever wanted direct input on your climbing, you'll also get access to message me through the platform, so you're not just watching lessons, you're actually supported as you go through it. If you want to improve your level and squeeze the most out of your time on rock, check out the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on screen. Right, back to the episode.
I've seen obviously all the videos. Saw the video of Daniel doing it. Loved the video of Dave doing it.
Yeah.
But seeing like the way Rustam used that tiny little thing that you guys or everyone else uses as an intermediate.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good hold
off that.
But that guy, his fingers, I think he'd do a rival in a session back in. If he would have been on that,
his fingers,
he would have done it. Yeah. And he's flexible. I mean, he does this heel. I mean, he's laughing while he does it. And when he did it, it was in July.
Yeah.
And it was probably 65 degrees when he did it. Where like, you know, I was going there. And that's a hard one to send because there's a lot of snow and this and that, but it gets really humid. So there's like, you need to be ready to send it when there's 2 weeks on the front end of the season, like September, October. Mm-hmm. So basically you get a week to tune it back up and 2 weeks to send. So you get that on the front end and back end of each season, like shoulder seasons. So like me, just when I was starting to feel good, the season like comes to an end. So you need to be better than the boulder to do it. And he was just so much better. Like that he just laughed on it. It was impressive, but his beta is great. I tried it. I'd be curious to try it again, but He just grabs this pinch. It's full pad.
Oh, really?
But you need some strong legs.
To pull.
I remember. Yeah, but I'm surprised Zach Galla didn't send it that way in the end, because I remember I was there, 2018 or something. He came super young, and if I remember correctly, he did the move, Rustom's move, 8 years ago, and then he sent it Daniel's way. So maybe it wasn't easy enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much easier that he decided it was worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one I'd like to go back for.
Back then he was weighing he was in the 40-kilo range.
Yeah, he reminds me, never climbed with him, but same as Sean Bailey, light, right, but also really strong. Yeah. But it's not just that he's light. The guy really powerful and strong. Yeah. I haven't seen anything like that ever before, I think. Or Andre, got to climb with him for the first time, and
yeah, what was that like?
Really, it's eye-opening. Not the strongest guy ever, but he's the best ever.
Right.
It's kind of, there's this guy Enzo Odo in the south of France as well. Him and Andre were the two best for years, and Enzo, I don't know, just decided to do other things in life. Still really strong. I mean, I went to Magic Wood with him. I think you were there that time. He did all the Magic Wood in a 1-week trip.
He was there, was he?
It might have been 1 year after. I don't know if you were there or not. If it was the same trip, but phenomenal climber. But all that to say, Andre, he's traveled so much, just like Enzo, from 5 years old. Every move he's done or is gonna do, he's already done. So Andre sees the whole. I mean, that's at least how I imagine it. Is every movement he's already done it. So there's just subtle differences in just that execution and confidence. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that.
Little that they're seeing that they haven't already seen or dealt with. Or
yeah. Easily. I mean, just imagine from 5 years old. Enzo was going to the United States. That was rare back then. There weren't many people coming from Europe. There was some spurts, but he did everything in the red. He was out on the sandstone towers, Andre style, crack climbing, big wall climbing, did biography at 16 or something. But just the amount of movement you get in, he never trained. And same as Andre, I think, just lots of travel, lots of movement over rock, which is
you were there
the main thing.
When he flashed Lion Share and when he tried deep fake.
I didn't see him do Lion Share. He did that the next day, but I was there when he did deep fake, and he would have done it. He decided to do this crimpy beta for the end.
Yeah.
And he should have just jumped. Yeah, he would have done it. It was cold. That's another thing. That dude runs warm, I guess, because it was cold. But he's shorts, t-shirt only. So I tried that on arrival. I'm he's got to be onto something. He told me about Tokyo Powder RX, and he's geeking out on his 3 different types of chalks and stuff he has. Yeah. So I'll go and waste $40 on some Tokyo Powder and go shorts top off on arrival, thinking it's going to do something. And it doesn't do anything. He's just on a different planet. Yeah.
So
that was cool.
He's big into the chalk and stuff then as well, and messing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's big into he feels what the conditions are that day, and I don't know what all the brands and stuff he uses is, but the Tokyo RX, it softens your skin up a bit.
Yeah.
So he likes that. You get cut, but you've got really good friction for that one try. And then I don't know what else he uses.
Was he boost stuff in the tiny bag?
I use that. No, he was using just the RX. It's a compressed type chalk, and then there's this other brand in what's it called in Spain by Danny Andrade called Technogrip, and it's amazing. So if you've got dry skin, it's also that, densified chalk, and you just break a pebble and you rub it on. But when it's really cold and dry, it's kind of got that same effect as the boost, but a little less moisture content.
Okay.
So it works really well. So I've been using that a lot. My buddy, he's been giving me that a bunch. So whenever he keeps coming from Spain, so every time he comes, he leaves me a bag of it.
Sick.
Yeah, so he's big on the chalk.
Is the what sort of how does your skin change? Is it mostly dry? Is it mostly sweaty? What generally works for you?
I've got sweaty skin. I'm a big anti-hydro guy, which is a big problem on arrival because the holds are so small that it was cracking because you're putting so much pressure through, and it was cracking the ends of my fingers where you don't crimp, but you need dry skin, but not. Then I went too much on it and then split really bad. Right. So now I think I'm going to try. My brother used to do it, but you use that electric machine.
Yeah.
And Clement started using that, and he says he's never had better skin and stopped anti-hydral. So it's a 30-minute process every day though.
Yeah.
But I do so much for climbing.
Well, it's just, I mean, I tried it last year, and it did make a difference. But what I did find is that it cracked up and split like the tops of my hands. So I was
so like dry everywhere.
It dried everything out, and I found it wasn't drying my pads, like my tips, as much as I wanted it to. It was drying everywhere else.
Yeah, so for me, I like good conditions.
Yeah. But what I've tried recently, which I found a bit better, because I've been using anti-hydro for years as well. What I found now is that actually using like dry spray, the Rhino dry stuff, which is less.
Oh, that works.
But using it like either every day or every other day.
Does it? My problem with anti-hydro gives me like, I call it fake skin. It's like, it's dry, but it doesn't climb like real skin. That's just good conditions. So I do it in the summer, but it's not the same. Like when I did Poison finally, it was a really cold, humid day, and I'm like, I'm not going to use anti-hydro this week. And I only got 2 tries, and it cuts really bad because it's humid in that hole. Yeah. But the rock was so sticky. So I think I'm going to maybe go down that road with the Rival in the fall, is no products, and just when the days are good, that's when I go, rather than trying to force it. Because like that fake like crocodile skin, I don't know how to, it's almost like it's not alive. So like there's no give back from like your brain between your fingertips, like the same way, at least for me.
You lose feedback, don't you? I feel a lot of the time. It's like a dead layer on the top.
Yeah, and I don't know how you are. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the same.
The same. That's what I find quite nice about the dry spray, is that it's not so aggressive as it just makes that top layer completely like dead. It's still got some like elasticity to it, but it's drier than it would be if I did nothing. Like if I did nothing to my tips, I generally find they don't dry up enough. And if
same.
I can't even put like performance, or I can't put repair or any of that.
That's not enough. Yeah.
It just makes my skin like soft and
like I get this paper effect with the anti-hydro, or like I did it for permanent. I'm starting to work like permanent sit, and I had one session last week where I was weaker, but was moving really well on the holds, and they were sticky. And I was like, oh, I need to use anti-hydro. And I used it, and my skin, I was like just complaining to my mom, like, oh, my skin feels like papery. And then sure enough, like that dead layer, I just like ripped my whole pinky off yesterday. Like, so it's this like, it's better just to wait for good conditions. And if it's not the day, but all that stuff is not big on I use them, but it's not a game changer. I think it's good in the summer. It lets you go through the motions. Yeah. So that's what I try to do. Stay consistent, like this summer, you can't crimp on the board. Like it's 35 over here, and I anti-hydro up and but it's probably good, can't be in shape 12 months a year.
Yeah.
So it's actually good. Like go through the motions, and the weight. That's why I think the weightlifting's good, is because the output can be this intense in the summer, where like my fingers can't be moved forward in that period of time, really.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So you're almost thinking about it as like, the projects that you have are they're finger intensive, and they're things that you'll generally try like autumn. I guess maybe you won't try Arrival in like you said in December, the depths of winter, if it's really cold.
Yeah, but maybe I will, because this is what I learned. I thought I kept saying, like, oh, Clem, I'm going to do it if it just gets warmer. And I realized I got the session on it one time with Nikolai Ushnik, and it was like -3. And I was just like floating on it, climbed super well. And then after that, it started getting warmer again, and things started going downhill. So it was either form started going down or the conditions got warmer. But I honestly think it got too warm, and I need to find a way to get warmed up enough to climb when it's bitter cold on it.
When it's that cold.
Because you just pull less hard. Like I think that's the bottom line is when it's 0 degrees, I think it's perfect. But you pass so much time on the holds. I need to find a way. That's the hard thing. You got to be warmed up enough to crimp, 6 mil crimps. But how do you do it without doing the moves? And it's so intense, you can't really warm up on the boulder. So that's the hardest thing. Haven't found a process yet to be ready to give it sunburns.
Yeah.
I do it, but it doesn't feel right yet. Like something's missing on the warm up.
What does your warm up look like when you get there?
Normally when I warm up, always, just get the hangboard out, do like 2 sets of 3 pull-ups, and then go through some hangs, do one, like there's like an 8 mil crimp on my hangboard.
Yeah.
Just hang out with 2 hands for like 10 seconds. And then I really like to do moves on my boulders to warm up, like Poison, for example, it's easy in the bottom. So you do like the V5 part, and then you do like the V11-ish part. Then I'd get on the ladder, just do the last hard move, and then do the last 3 hard moves together, and then I'd be ready.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can give a send burn that warms you up because it's all about like the last 2 moves. So you can warm up by giving send burns, where like arrival, it's on you right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I haven't figured that out yet. You know,
are you using a ladder on arrival to like try the upper bit?
I do, but it's sketchy. Like actually, okay. I think I'm going to abandon that because I was stupid. You know, just maybe a little going too quick and stood on the ladder, but the ladder like fell. But I fell through the ladder and my leg got caught between the ladder and this. And I was like, man, if I would have just like tripped or something, could have just like snapped my leg in half, just like being an idiot. So the best is now what I do now is I have enough pads and I just stack like 6 of them. And that's safe. Like at least you like just land on pads.
Yeah. So
just need more pads and just stack them. But now it's at the point where I hope in the fall I can just tune it up the first session. And then I can start really giving like, so that's what I forgot to loop back, but I was giving send burns. So I got a little too confident thinking I could do it. Mm-hmm. So it was just going from the bottom. And then March rolled around and I'm like, maybe I should just try to send the old stand of Aiden's. Like you start 2 moves in and that's probably 8C or 8C plus. And I was like, that'd be good to send. So the month of March, I just tried to send that.
Right.
Got really close, but didn't make it happen. Just, I think that was mainly, had I tried that in January when I was feeling good, I would have done the old stand, which I probably should have done. So like, that's always the thing is like, what approach do you use to send the boulder? So like Clem's permanent sit is now I'm learning more, you know, you get into these harder boulders. I think it's good to work them top down, even if you don't want to, like it builds everything. So I thought, found my beta to do the crimp, but actually I set from there and then I go 1 move down, and then the send kind of just comes with it rather than like trying to do send burns maybe before you're ready. So that's what I'm doing on permanent is this time is I'm adding even just a foot move. And then I'm going to add a hand move. And then it all revolves around this like shuffle on a jug, but just building the endurance and like familiarity with something, even if you know it, you don't. Like I thought my beta was like, I'll never fall there with this lock off beta on arrival. And turns out just adding 2 moves into it.
Yeah.
The foot's a smear and it's 30 degrees overhanging in like a really small smear. So if my like hand-eye coordination and like tension isn't perfect, I can't do it. So I need to get there, I think, almost as if I haven't climbed. So I need to do the AP plus section as if I hadn't climbed yet.
Yeah.
So
like when you're at your limit, that having that confidence of like just going top down, move lower makes a big difference. I guess we don't necessarily you wouldn't do that on like an 8B or an 8B plus or even an 8B, would you? You just like make a certain link. Maybe it's like halfway, you do all the moves and then you're like, okay, I'll go from the start. Or whatever.
But you kind of know, right? Like you go to a boulder and it's like, or like Vecchio Leone. I'm not big into flashing, never did it because like I never know if I'm warmed up enough and don't want to get hurt. And it's not an important aspect for me, but I'll do like the key move. Like I'll do each move, rest 15 and then give it a go. Mm-hmm. But like but that's, you know, like we're talking about like margin on the boulder. So like most of the time, you know, if you should, at least me, sometimes I like lie to myself and say I'm ready to give a send burn before I am, but you already know, you're like, dude, you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
It was kind of like solitary days, even like I knew I didn't have the level, but I was going from the bottom and it could have worked maybe.
Okay.
But I knew already, like there's this like triple heel hook move and I just didn't have it. Like couldn't do it every try or even every other try, but I was just going from the bottom because I could get there from the bottom, but I should have spent 5 sessions just learning that really well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I just like come full circle. I mean, you lose. That's the thing in climbing. Like, probably have the same conversation with you in a year, but you learn the same lessons over and over. Yeah, like conditions are the most important. Like you do it when you're ready. Don't be too like, you know, you can't want it too much. It's like you learn the same lessons every time. Like every time I'm like, conditions are everything. Yeah. Especially go ahead.
You show up to stuff like, you know, so when so you're living in Chamonix or you live
in right by it in a little village, like 15 minutes out. Yeah.
And you're driving 4 hours over to Brione to try poison or same to go to.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
Does that, because I think for a lot of people, the idea of doing that for maybe like, do you day trip those, or is that weekend trip?
I have done a day trip. I had this British buddy. He kind of stopped climbing the past 2 years, but he got motivated. I mean, yeah, I'm motivated. I was driving day trips to try Poison the Well. I'd get up at 5 a.m., get there, climb on it till 4 p.m. because it gets dark early in the winter, and then drive home. But that's only because it's so expensive. Like, I could do a session on Poison for 60 euros in gas. If you stay the night, you add an Airbnb euros. And it makes it a 400 euro session. Oh, really? So I did it by necessity, not by, but I mean, I'm psyched. I do it anyways. But now my friend got a place, a good friend of mine, Pierre, and he lets me chill at his apartment, and he lives in Ticino. So that's changed everything. Work remote a day at his place, go try the boulder. Yeah. And then I got a van too recently, which is why I came up to England, is you guys do this cool system and like build it out. And I was going to build it myself. And then I was like, you know what, like, time is money. I'm just going to go see England for the first time and just pay and get it done with. Yeah. But anyways, so now, dude, but I love driving. I would say it's super important. Like, it's one of the biggest aspects of my climbing is I don't listen to music and stuff that much. I'm just thinking, I mean, maybe it's American, but like 4 hours is close for me, so I just sit there and I just think, and, I love geeking out on climbing. So even if I don't like most of the podcasts, I still listen to it to see if there's any kind of real information to pull out of it, which I think that's what's missing a bit, is there's a lot to learn. Like, I love how you set it up where, we haven't dove into it too much yet, but like tactics, how do you approach a boulder? Like, what things are you doing, rather than just, bringing somebody strong on. They don't say anything about anything really. But I listen to it all, but just to see, like, I love geeking out on climbing. Like, you never know. Like, that's what I was going to say about Poison the Well. Like, just for example, I think the most important thing is what I do climbing a boulder is the second I fall, even when I'm in the air, I know what went wrong and what I'm going to do different on the next try. Like this 1-2 move, like the crux. I'm like, I see a lot of people, way better than me or stronger, but they don't know why they fell. I could tell you why. I mean, maybe I don't know why I fell, but I know what I'm going to try different the next try. Turn the shoe. Does the shoe need to be this side? Do I need to change shoes? I'm a big shoe guy where I'll buy anything, like one shoe, this shoe, that shoe. It makes a big difference. Some people can do everything, but I mean, I use specific shoes for specific things, like on a daily basis. But yeah, just like knowing why you fell and trying to,
How have you kind of like cultivated that? Is that something you've always had, or is this something you've had to like?
I've had to cultivate that, actually. I've learned that even way more since I left Boulder. Boulder, you just want to send, but like that was a pretty toxic scene, I guess. But being here, the only person that I have is Clement, he and his partner, and there's some people, but it gets you in your own little bubble where you're not getting this outside noise all the time. So it gives you the time to reflect on why you fell. And I think just building that up over the last few years, and rather than wanting quantity, there's like 5 boulders I want to do. Solitary wasn't one that I wanted to do, but it was there, and it's the summertime. So it's like, I always have projects like, I'm not only going to try rival. Like, I love climbing. So there's tons of other boulders or try, but it's not like a life lister, they just are filling the gaps, and I like it. But
so that I think that's interesting as well, because sometimes people, they may have one project and either they do it or they don't do it, as I guess is the case with the rival, and then the season kind of ends, and then they're like, oh well, that's me for a while. But you're like kind of straight away transition into something else, and
I mean,
and keeping things rolling.
I mean, I think you got to know what you want to do. I think that's what I tell my buddy. I think a lot of people, they just say they want to do 8C, where, I pushed myself, and you can call it grade chasing or whatever in Colorado, but I wanted to do that line, for me, it's always about the line.
Yeah.
So there's this guy,
isn't it?
Like this skateboarding guy, they do this thing on Thrasher, and it's called, I forget, My War, it's called. There's this guy, and
I saw the one of Jocelyn doing the fucking
the 360 flip down El Toro, and there's this, it wasn't the craziest trick or anything, but the guy was taking a bus from LA to ride this rail. I think it was maybe in Las Vegas, and he did like just a nose slide down it, but it was like a winding staircase. But he just had this thing. He sat down. He's like, dude, it's not even about the fucking trick. It's about the line. And that just like, I remember that to my day, to like today. I watched it like 3 years ago, and I'm like that my war kind of thing is like, I love that. Is like, I want to do the line. So even if, Arrival, maybe this made us easier or whatever, and maybe it's, it's 8C plus, I have no idea, or harder, easier, but I'm going to do it. And that's like what I want to do. So like, I progress and want to try harder boulders, but if somebody downgrades my thing, like Yannick Floe came and downgraded Brain Rot to 8B plus, but I was like, the way it goes about it is, he's strong, and it's one of those boulders, either you got it or you don't. Strong, like I've seen a lot of strong people on it, and it's not that easy, so like maybe it is for him, but like everything's different, and you can't compare like you're 5'8", I'm 5'11", you can't even reach the same hold as me. So like, it's different thing. That's the hard thing about climbing, like I thought Poison was hard for me, but I barely had the reach. Like, I had a centimeter, like maybe 2 centimeters of margin on the hold. So that means like to do the move, what I finally found out is my pants had to be touching the wall when I was sticking the hold arm off.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but Aiden did the move, and I'm curious what his arm span is, because he's a little shorter than me. So like, I'm like, but so you got to find what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's my most important thing is like, somebody's got long arms. He did it, this, that. You got to find the lines you want to do.
Yeah.
And like, I want to do Arrival or whatever. Like, I've got other examples. I wanted to do REM, and, Paul downgraded it to 8B plus. I didn't give up. Like, and then he came back around, and it actually is hard. It's just specific, and you got to be good on that style. So maybe it's 8B plus, maybe it's 8C plus, but
what is it about those boulders that appeals to you?
They're straight up the gut, like everything I normally do where I'm proud of it is, Vecchio Leone, something that's just like a straight up the gut kind of line. Poison, straight up the wall. Arrival, straight up the wall. That's the least pretty, maybe. It's not that fun to look at, but it climbs well. Where Poison, you look at it and just like swirly rock, and you walk up to Dreamtime, and once you know the REM line, it's just like sits, and you actually get like that 10 meters of like height.
Yeah.
So,
correct.
And it's just like growing up in, climbing in Bishop, you get these like big monolithic boulders, and it's like a line, which is always what I want to do. And then Hypno's historic in the holds, and it's got that swirly rock as well. Yeah. But just these classic things.
I guess it's like, like you say, classic stuff. Sometimes it's a different thing about a different boulder, isn't it? But I think the thing is like if you're chasing the grade, I think it's maybe unfair
you can
to say,
though,
like superficial motivation, but I guess it will work. But for me, I've always found like chasing the boulder is a more sustainable like source.
Yeah, so like I wanted to do 8B plus when I did it in Colorado, but I found the one that like I want to do even if somebody downgraded it.
Yeah,
and I tried it. I don't remember how long it took me. It's rare that I send it whenever I pick up a project. It's rare I send that year. So like it's always, my climbing always goes 1 year I send nothing, the next year I send, like, you're just not good enough, and then you got to learn and adapt to the boulder. So like I always have an up and down year.
A reaping and a sowing year, isn't it?
Yeah. So like you dial everything up, you send nothing, and then most of the time on the back end it comes back up. But I love that about it.
Can you handle, like, obviously you can because you do it, but is that ever mentally challenging for you? Because I think a lot of people have like.
It was in Colorado, but honestly,
is that because
because
of the scene, or because you felt?
I think it's the scene. I think you just wanna like succeed, and like those guys they're all really strong, but like somebody sending every day. It's the same on Instagram, today. Like for advice, it's like you got to get off that and like go get on your project. Even me spend too much time looking at who did what, and like. That's the thing is like my good buddy, he got off Instagram, and it doesn't matter if I sent Poison today or in 2 weeks. He's going to call me. We call it a conference call, and we just like you and I just sitting here talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then he'll ask me what's up and what I got done, and it's like people that actually care, they know.
Yeah.
So it's that thing, but I'm still on that same like debate of, like I got off 8A and just like, I keep it because I love tracking over years, but like make it anonymous. And I don't like seeing that. I love working hard and doing my thing, but the comparison aspect is hard. But I mean, to have any good level, you got to be competitive at some things. So, it's the ego thing, It's like, I don't want to like battle with that. So I prefer to just get off it. Well, I try to share on Instagram, and I try to share the experience I had, but then at the same time, I don't even know why I'm sharing, like, because like the 4 people that actually care, like my mom and my 2 buddies, it's like, but I love climbing in the end. And like, I moved from Colorado and I still have good friends and I love seeing what they do. So I'm hoping, some people, they're also psyched to see what's going on, even if, it's not the masses. So like, I do like to see, so it's a tough thing, but I think that was what's so great about Pennsylvania. I had none of that. I had dosage that this guy Brian told me about, and I was just watching that. It's like, you grew up and I had like one skate video and I watched that thing 4 times a day. And I was just out there climbing. And that's what I'm trying to get.
There was
less noise.
Less media, less everything. Yeah, you felt, I think, a bit more tuned into like what was going on because there was less of it, and it's like now it's just all like being thrown at you, isn't it? And you don't know where to look.
Yeah, it's tough like to navigate that. Even as a non-professional, like to share or not, and what does it mean? Because I mean, I do it because obviously I guess you want people to know, and then I'm like, oh, why do I even want people to know? It's all that stuff's tough. So all that to loop back to is, that's why, like, at the end of the day, I try to focus on the boulders I want to do, like the things I want to do. And like, there's a lot of noise around all that and it takes you off path a bit. But, I always try to stay true to what I want to do, or like, oh, I saw somebody did this, I should go do it. But like, it doesn't work for me. I'm like, my level can be, I feel like I'm twice as strong if I'm on something I actually want to do. Like, I don't know how you are, but I can pull twice as hard on a rival that I could on just some random crimp climb that like I should do because I've got strong fingers.
Yeah. So like, this is something I wanted to ask you then, because I guess most of your climbing then is going out trying hard shit. I'm quite a big proponent, and I have been for years with people I work with, and just generally of some kind of like a base level and then building up from a base level. So for me, it might be like going out and trying to do 8As, and then when I'm feeling really good, it might be A+ or 8B. As almost as like a base for even in a season. So I might spend like the first month of a season trying to do that stuff like in that level to then try like projects later on. Is that like a style? Is that something you've ever done, or you do? I mean,
I have never done what you just described, but I've always had a project that's too big for me. Like I like to feed on that to progress, but without fail, I'll get on something easier after. So like, I'll try my, for whatever, when I was trying to do my first 8A+, the mandala, I was trying to do that. Without fail, I would go do a V7 after.
Right.
And, like hold sizes don't change that much. I was lacking power and movement and some things, but I think you can have, at least for me, it's worked. So I haven't changed it, is have the goal that's too big. If you can hold the holds, you start doing the moves. And I love that. Like, I love getting shut down. And I think people want to, hit the grade too quick, where I like Poison. It was so awesome and so frustrating because I was like, I can't believe I can't, like, so many days to do one move.
Yeah.
And I love finding a stopper move. And I think it's cool because in the end, it went from doing it once in 8 days to doing it like 3 times in a row from the bottom, before I did it. So it's cool. Like, there's nothing better than that. Like, the sending is like not even as good of a feeling as like seeing what you were and then unlocking something.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't stronger, I just learned how to do something. And I think that's cool. Like, you got to want to learn. And that's what I love. So
I'm not being afraid. It must be for you then, not being afraid of failing, but not doing something. But also then, I think some people struggle sometimes where they come from like a project that's too hard for them to then back down, let's say 3 or 4 grades. And not being able to do that grade as well.
Yeah, but I'm the same, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hard to say because you get something that 7C can be hard. for me in Fontainebleau, for example, 8B plus is easier than 7C for me there, because 8B plus is just hard for the most part, like you start getting the crimps in normal climbing again, where there's these classic 7Cs you can't pull off the ground on, or they're just, you're like, oh my God. So I don't even, I know 7C is still hard for me. 7A can be gnarly as well. So that's why I try to choose a line that's hard, and obviously that becomes grade oriented. But you try to see what you want to progress with, choose the line. But I always did a boulder after in Colorado. So like I'd work Jade, then there would be, something in the cave. Try that, and that's like 7C. So I always do at least 2 boulders.
Okay.
Arrival kind of that's why it's depressing, is at first it was super fun because they didn't do anything there. So I'd try Arrival for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, do each move, and then could go to From Dirt, and then got to try Clem's new like Tagada. Then there's Nobody Still Goes. And like I did the tour of all that. Yeah. So like February, March started getting depressing because like, here we go again. Just, I mean, I want to do a Fira, but it's super big in the arms. And then there's like this new crimp beta, but I don't want to do it that way. Like I'm a big proponent of like, I try to do the boulder the way it's opened for the most part, like if it was open without a knee bar pad, I'm going to do it without a knee bar pad. Cause I at least want to see like where that person's coming from rather than like these crazy downgrades or this and that. Like even, Arrival, there's this new method and that should be discussed, and I don't know if it's easier. Like Sean's jump, I think, is just as hard, what I found. And even if you're a little taller than me, you can keep your foot in the start hold jug and reach up. Like I'm missing this, and I would do it every try if I had an inch more reach. Like would never fall, I think. Yeah. And I do it with a hold just above that, but it goes from like a jug to like literally a pebble.
Right.
Which I'm scared might break, so I don't even know. Like I'm hoping I do it before it breaks. That breaks off. Yeah. But
so
you gotta just.
How are you kind of preparing for it now? Then are you? I guess you, like you're saying, through the summer you don't as much, and
So right now it's been kind of full on because I stopped and then had basically a month where I haven't been able to train because went on like normal vacation with my partner. Then my mom came out. Then I'm going to Rome with her tomorrow. So it's been like a month, kind of just. I go to Fiona and I always find something like I'd like to do it, but it's not my like big goal. Like I'm trying permanent sit because it's like the last one I have left in Fiona. Mm-hmm. But if I do it or I don't care. I just want to move over rock. Yeah. So you can just add a move each time to the 8A plus stand. And if I do it or I don't, it's not a big deal. So I'm trying that on the weekend. So that's my day outside because I just like being outside. And then me and Clem, we're going to just start kind of chatting and maybe we'll try to do something together training wise. But I'll train on Tuesday, Thursdays, then maybe one day outside a week. And then Saturday would be climbing outside, Sunday on the board again. But I only get one quality session. So it's hard to juggle all that, like max effort and trying to recover. But I did that last year and it worked really well for Poison, just went through the motions, do your pull-ups, do the, what all the, I don't know if you want to dive into like what I do, but
it'd be interesting to hear some of the other, like the weight stuff that you're doing.
Yeah. So basically what I do, always start the session, just get into whatever the thing I don't want to do the most, I do it first. So do the weighted pull-ups, like a couple sets. Sometimes I'll do like 3. So right now I'm doing more volume, like more reps, less weight, just trying to build a base. Yep. And then I always hangboard. Like that's one thing. Like I really like geeking out on stuff, but when I first started climbing, I stumbled across Dan Varian's How to Hangboard on the Beastmaker blog. Yeah. So that's all I did. Like, cause Pennsylvania is bad weather, like in England, and in my bedroom, just, went through the Beastmaker thing up until the 8A, just doing repeaters. So maybe that's what got me the fingers. I don't know, right. But
okay. That's interesting. But I did quite a lot of repeaters like to start with as well, like early on, and it was from the Beastmaker stuff. So I'm still doing repeaters now.
No, but I was talking to Clem this morning. I'm like, maybe I should try again because it does work. I think it activates that like power endurance level, but you're not going to get max strength. But right now I'm playing around with the density hangs. So like with all 4 fingers, the pinky cheats so much, like it takes so much weight off just when it's straight. So I'm getting into, I'm doing just like for Arrival is back 3 training and then front 3, but like staying pretty high up. Yeah. And I'm doing density hangs right now, like 20-second hangs with some weight. Just trying to like be strong for a longer period of time. So like arrival, I don't need to be stronger. I need to keep that strength for a longer period of time to make it happen. So I'm trying to play around with that.
In the season, you mean, or
no, like
session
on the boulder? You know, like
right, okay,
I need to keep. Maybe you're doing like 7C moves, so I need to still have 7C strength when I'm at the last 7C move.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know how hard the moves are. It's hard to grade one movers, but I need to keep that same like finger strength for 30 seconds rather than. I'm quite good when I got to be strong for a couple. So I need to like build that out. So I'm trying to do that, and then board climb for an hour goes pretty quick. Yeah. And then I go into just like, you know, it helped a ton. Like just copied Aiden, you know, all this training information is so available online now. And even I watch like, you know, muscle heads, like how you train, like these dudes can build muscle. They know what they're doing. So I just geek out on that and, work different things like doing some like negative lock offs, you know, heavy weight, Aiden's like shoulder things, some rows and then abs, but really basic circuit.
Yeah.
But I try to keep the quality on the board, like have something that is hard, but I never got into the replica stuff. I tried one for poison and honestly, it doesn't help. I find like maybe for some people it does, but honestly, having that mental break is really awesome. Like a 6-month break from a project. Like I'm always thinking about it, but I don't want to tire those same muscles that I just worked on for 4 months, you know, or like, So I don't know. What do you think about the replica stuff? Do you ever play around with that? Yeah, like what'd you do for Boogalizing, for example? Or did you just come back actually being better?
I think, definitely just coming back being better, I think is useful. I wanted to have a replica for this time, but I didn't. I just kind of like ran out of time and didn't set one. I think you can get pretty close with just similar angle, similar style holds.
Yeah, or even like, you know, there's that classic matchup there. I've never been, but like Arrival, for example, you climb with 3 fingers a lot, which I hate. So that's what I'm trying to get used to is I feel really strong when my pinky's on. Like hold not going to fall off the hold, but now I'm trying to get used to like being strong on front 3, which I've never done. Like most of the time when I climb, if I hit a hold and it's like front 3, I'll just hop off, try it the next try. Right. Like I don't like, just it seems dangerous to me. So and like now I'm getting used to it.
You would just, I think, I did a lot of repeaters earlier on. In that front 3 half.
Yeah,
made a difference for sure to actually just being comfortable in that grip. I'm less comfortable in it now, but I'm the same as you. My pinkies are way stronger flexed. So
me too.
If I get a hold, I tend to rotate into it so that
like that how the wrist flexed. Gets engaged. Yeah, like once I get in the crimp and like the wrist locks out, like the hold's not going anywhere kind of thing for me. Where like if I'm here, there's like just I guess it's for 12 years of climbing the same way is there's a lot more mobility when you're on the 3 fingers and like I don't know, I just feel it through the ring finger differently, which it feels exposed, kind of like you got your t-shirt off. Like if like so I've been working on that, but like same like maybe Boogalizing, like if that was my project, I would just have like make sure you're doing like some micro match somewhere on the board. And then you're going to jump to that hold out at the top. So I jump to a pinch or something, but like never, I'm not going to measure this or that. I think you just got to you got to know what you want to do kind of thing. And like, if you didn't do Boogalizing this season, like that's the thing, like people are, like you said, they'll get down that they didn't send. I'd rather walk away having not sent and trying what I wanted to try than just send something.
Yeah.
And like maybe you're the same like Google. You luckily the weather was bad, so you got to do a tour and got to do this cool stuff, which I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But if I was there and it was good, I'd be on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're paying your money for, isn't it? Like you go in there to try and climb the thing you want to climb, and I think for me I struggle because I know sometimes I need to do those other things to like build my confidence and build my execution a bit. I think that's something maybe that I think the benefit is of doing more like volume in the run up to something is that you've built that frame of mind of like doing boulders.
I always have a good run, like I think it kind of comes in waves, but that's mainly form. But I don't know how you are when you send, but I I had this one buddy in Colorado, and he sent the boulder one time, and he topped out. He was blacked out. He asked me if he sent when he was on the top. And me, I'm really good with input of just like my brother. He knows me well, and I tend to do like the Daniel squeak, like I don't breathe often, and when I start trying hard, I start going like this. Yeah. But he's just like, breathe, man. Like I don't need like the ale, but like somebody that knows the boulder and knows me and just says like, breathe, man. But like I hear everything, so like I don't remember. It's really rare that I've ever sent something in like in the zone. One time it happened like on Fuck the System. I sent it twice before I actually did it and fell on like the V0 top out twice. Wow. And I climbed it like the day I sent, it was terrible, like falling on every move, but somehow, just got it done. Yeah. But the day I did it twice and fell on the top out, I was just floating. Like everything was so long. Like I'm ashamed because like I climbed it well. And the way I did it, that's one thing is like, I want to climb things well. Like I like when, I really like Daniel's style and Alex Puccio and Fred Nicole, where it just looks under control. Like I love that. Yeah. And like I see some people, it's cool, but like they'll get a hold like with the finger, and they'll somehow get all four on there, full crimp it, and keep going. Where like me, if I don't hit it like how I want or how I envisioned it, I'll just hop off. Yeah. So I've got something to learn on that aspect, but I've always found like that style is cool.
It's great when you can feel like you're climbing like that, isn't it? And I think sometimes like I don't always get it. When I do, it's great, but sometimes I've definitely gotten better at fighting through on the goes where stuff feels shit. But you can do that, I think, below your limit. At your limit, it's like.
But do you get hurt doing that? Like my thing is always like my fingers always feel like I'm pushing them hard, and I'm always like, man, I want to be careful. Like I'm always like, I don't train near as hard as I climb on the rock. So like my boulders and stuff, they're hard, but they're never how hard I'm going to pull on the rock. Like I would say they're 40% lower than what I do on. So the weightlifting is what I'm pushing hard on.
Okay.
But the rock is where that's a training day. Like
that's pushing the fingers.
I'll put them to the limit. Like I'm going to crank as hard as I have to. We're like at my boulders on my board, I never push them to the limit, like pulling hard, putting moves together, but I'm not trying to do like limit crimping.
Yeah.
Just like from fear of getting hurt. Like that's the thing. Like if you just build slowly over time, I mean, you know how it is now. We're a bit older, and I don't know how you feel. I feel the same. I feel better than ever, actually. And the thing I did is I climb less now.
Maybe that's the beater then, because I feel good. I feel good, and then I feel shit, and then I feel good, and then I feel shit. And I think a lot of it's just me maybe just climbing too much and picking.
How much do you climb? I barely climb, man. Like my board session is 30 minutes, like of good climbing.
Right. Yeah, I'm maybe 3 or 4 times a week, but maybe the board sessions have just been, maybe one too many. Just being a bit eager.
Like I'm only good on Tuesday, because like actually the outdoor climbing, I try way harder, but in reality, like maybe the moves are harder on my board, but the whole, like, it's not the same climbing on rock and resin. Yeah. So like, it almost feels like I always feel better after the weekend outside, because like skin is a limiting factor, so you can't do near as much volume. So maybe I tried harder, but it's that like you get you spend maybe 2 minutes on the rock outside. If you accumulate working something hard, like you like 3 moves together, you spent 10 seconds on the rock. So it's actually more rest. And then I'm strong on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thursday I go through the motions, like I said, and then
I think if you
try to have quality.
It's having the quality, and it's changing if you're smart to change the style of what you're doing. So if you're projecting on Tuesday or trying hard shit on Tuesday, you do more volume on Thursday, or you switch what you're doing a bit so that you're not just constantly climbing maximally. I think that's maybe the one thing that's
so I'm going to play around with it this time around. Is I'm really good with feet. Like if my feet come off, I'm bad. So my thing this year is like, tried it this morning, just opening boulders where like they're stupid, but make a hard intro where I use my feet and in my style, and then I make the end purposely. You could easily track feet and put your foot back on, but I purposely make no foot ends to my boulders to see if that helps. Just to gain a little bit of that like campus power, and like when my feet come off.
Loads of sense. Yeah, I think that's something that people are reluctant to do. I think a bit is make their boulders really eliminate. Like,
oh, mine are stupid. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, why don't you just put your foot here? Like, why would you not go like my boulders, you could easily go
Yeah.
left hand to that and then jump to the next one.
Yeah.
But like mine, limited space, it's as big as a moon board, but
Okay.
you could cheat most of them if you want.
Same.
But like I opened it for a reason, and that's what I try to use it for.
And what are you trying? So like with that boulder, then you're saying you're trying to add that like campusing power after doing a few moves. Is there other styles? Is there other styles of boulders you've set on the board, or things you've tried, like movement patterns or something you've tried to work on?
Yeah, and that's normally Clem will open them, and he'll do it in like a couple tries. They're normally like big pinchy things, or like you jump to a hold and the feet cut. And I remember Jim Pope came last year when they were doing their Arc'teryx thing, and Clem like has this level on the fat pinches and stuff. And then Jim came. It was hot. He did every single one of them, like all of these hard boulders, and then he did them again, like campus style. And I was like, man, like it's cool. Like when you see somebody, like I was like, oh man, Clem's like great at this style. And then I saw somebody that's even better. So now I just try to do like, I'm a big proponent. There's that place Cats in Boulder, maybe like the schoolroom board. It never changes. Like I can go back to Colorado and try my old project. So I move things around, but I try to just make the board better for the most part with Clem. So I have projects they'll be there forever kind of thing. So you get those movement patterns, and like I want to try a new movement pattern. Like I'm pretty bad on big feet actually. So like when the feet are small, I feel like I can dig in on them. And like now I'm trying to like gain some tension on like more rounded and like these wooden type holds. So I'm working on that a lot right now actually.
Okay.
Just trying to build that, but I don't really have specifics when I'm on the board. Like I try to crimp hard to keep that moving.
Yeah.
And then like try like, arrival slow and steady the whole way. So I've got my like always have like a 7C crimp warm up type boulder that is slow and steady on crimps.
Yeah.
And like if you're going to spend like 20 seconds on this one crimp, I'm opening boulders now that you pass like triple the time on a front 3 crimp. Then I've never done that before. So trying to replicate a bit time spent on the boulder. And I think that's the most important thing I was going to say as well, is what I've realized now more is time spent on the rock is like the most valuable energy. So now my thing is, and it's worked without fail now, is even if it's harder and it takes you 15 more days to learn it, if you can save 10 seconds on the wall, you're going to do it. Like Poison, that's like what I did is this little guy, Francesco Bernardino, he was doing this crazy beta in the beginning, and I was taking like 35 seconds to get to the 1-2 on Poison. He was doing it in 12.
Yeah,
and
fast, like.
And I was like, he's like, yeah, dude, I just, float like water, this and that. Great guy. I love him. Crazy. And, oh yeah. He's like, dude, I just want to float, man. And, he got me on that. And, I went back, tried the first session. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. And then I was like, you know what? Like, cause otherwise you do like really Aiden style, it's like 1, 2, match the slope or get the crimp. And now I just do it in one move.
Right.
And I think I stuck the crux at like, 14 seconds. Before I stuck it at 35. Yeah. And like I look at my boulders on my board, and all my boulders take about 30 to 40 seconds.
Right.
So like been training for years to be strong for 40 seconds. So like obviously it doesn't work out. So I try to look at like what the climb demands in terms of time on the wall now.
Yeah.
Because like Aiden, I think he spent, I don't do it his way, but what Sean did, that's why I would say maybe it's just as hard. But time on the wall for me is a bigger determiner of difficulty than movement for me, I would say now.
Okay.
What would you say? Because for me, like Arrival, Sean's jump's crazy. It's hard. But I think you spend 35 less seconds than Aiden.
Yeah, I think time is like a big thing. It's funny you say about Francesco as well, because when I was trying Dreamtime, he did it one day, and obviously Melissa was trying.
Yeah.
And we worked out that like to get to the crux, Melissa was taking like a minute, I was taking like something like 40 seconds, and Francesco was there in like 20 seconds. Yeah,
he's an extreme, but like it's crazy that
though, isn't it? Because I feel like Melissa is the other extreme, and I was maybe somewhere in the middle. So it's cool, I think, to look at that and think, okay, can I shave off like 10 seconds here? Or
it's everything.
Yeah, makes
like
a difference.
Even that's going back to Andra. He climbs the same as like Francesco. It's big risk, but like huge reward. And then you learn it. Like at first, it felt crazy to do what Francesco was doing, And honestly, I think I wasn't doing it as well as I wasn't stretching. And I started stretching a lot the last 2 years. And my knee was hurting on the poison heel hook. Like, didn't have the flexibility. So all the weight didn't have the hip flexibility. So the knee was getting tweaked.
Yeah.
And then I came back this year and it never tweaked me once.
Yeah.
But I think just doing it in one move, I literally saved like chalk and just like literally 20 seconds. Better. And it's a weird one because like you do an intro, the boulder completely breaks. Like you could chalk up at the middle if you wanted. Yeah. So like your brain has the time to think like, oh, this could be the go. You know, even when I did it, like I remember just like every time, like you're on the first intermediate, that's easy to get to, but you're just like, am I going to stick it? And every time I would stick it, even when I sent, I was like, oh God, I'm still here. Thank God. Yeah. Like, and then like the end is still hard. So, you know, I'm pretty conscious all the time. So that's my biggest thing. I think I don't know if you do it as well, but can you actually get in the flow state? Like I never do. So like everything I'm on there. And I just remember poison. I got the flow state, or I stuck the crux and I was just like, in my head, I'm like, instead of like, there's this bad foot and I fell on the last move quite a few times. And the time I did it, I was like, you take 2 seconds, take 6 this time. And like, looked at where I wanted to put my foot and like maybe it's only 2 seconds, but I took the time to like dig the foot into this hold and like be intent, like rather than just half-ass it and like big risk, like didn't half-ass it, but you know,
just
slow it down and like put it where it needs to go.
Yeah. That's actually something I remember Griffin, you know, Whiteside, telling me once. Like, I think he's probably the slickest, smoothest person I've ever played with. And I remember him saying to just look at your foot and like do not take your eyes off that foot until you're like 100% confident that it's placed. And it showed in his style because of how slow and deliberate he was about everything that he was doing.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's like always stuck with me is how you can, but then that's kind of counter to this really flowy style, isn't it? And like Francesco style. So I think it's trying to be a bit of an alchemist, isn't it? And like take a bit of everything.
You got to find what works best for you a bit, like what you're best at. Yeah.
And the boulder,
like each thing. Like, what happened with Dreamtime then? Did you speed up or what'd you do then?
Up a little bit. I think I shaved off like another 5 or 6 seconds to what I was doing, and it made a difference. It just meant that I got to like those 2 crimps with a little bit
feeling
skin, a little bit fresh, and it made a difference. But I guess, you know, something like that, a boulder where you're climbing, I don't know, 10, 12 moves into a crux is a very different thing than climbing.
Like Dreamtime, you got to climb hard the whole time, you know, like that's the same, like Dreamtime's the same as Arrival. It's like, you got to be strong for a long time. So time matters. So something like Lion's Share, that, you know, you just have to be strong for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's 2 moves. Yeah. So it's like, it's easy to focus up for those 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But when you need to be strong for a long time and have that like hand-eye coordination, foot coordination at 30 seconds, like things start to go a little haywire. And that's where I think a lot's to be gained is really focus on, you know, if it's your project, see how long it takes you to get to the crux and try to replicate that in hangboarding or on the wall. I don't know. Do you play around with that at all?
Yeah.
I'm starting to, and it helps a lot, I think.
Thinking about, like you said, just the time and attention, isn't it? Like, how long is that actually going to take you to climb? What are you going to feel like when you get to the crux of it? I feel like there's almost more sense in replicating that feeling of what I'm going to feel like when I get to this crux move than replicating the actual crux move.
Exactly.
And putting yourself, I guess, in that mental headspace of, okay, this is what I'm going to feel like when I get to this position, and I want to feel better when I get there, so that on the real thing you get there and you're fresh. Because ultimately, you know, you with the way you're climbing, you'll go to these projects and you'll build the specifics on them pretty quickly.
Like, I mean, that's for me is the bottom line. Is like I think even Poison, I didn't need to train. Like I just need to be on the boulder. Like that's always been my thing. Is the rock's so different than the wall. So like it'll take longer to do. So like having this board and weightlifting speeds up the process, I think.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I need to be on the boulder. But when something good is when the boulder is too demanding on the skin or this and that, it's great to have that supplement. But if I could, I just like permanent sit. I'm just going to try it. Like I'm not going to train for it or anything. I'll train on it.
Yeah.
You know, big holds, underclings, work the biceps. So in Poison, I only climbed on that is because you can. Like the only way to learn that move is to climb on that move, and then try to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But that's any move, you know. Like you got to be on the rock. I mean, you can't learn a move on a board if. Same game, you know. Like to do the move on your board, you got to be on your board. Like.
You find,
so I think it's
like,
important.
The translation of like you climb more, you get better on a board, or do you feel like rock complements board climbing for you, or does it depend what you're trying on rock? I guess.
I think the board complements the rock climbing. It just keeps, lets me have more volume. Where like rock, it cuts your skin pretty quick, and you don't get, like I said, you do a boulder, even something you can send quickly. That means you do it in a session. You did the moves, sent the boulder third or fourth try. That means you spent less than 3 minutes. Where like on a board session, I get some volume in and get a little bit more climbing in. But I don't really know if there's that much correlation. It's like, to get the strong fingers on a specific boulder, you got to get on that boulder. Like, I don't think me just crimping on my board is going to give me the fingers I need for a rival. Like, they're different. You're holding each finger weights differently. A board hold is a board hold where...
And an edge, I know guys who can like hang 10 mils or do one armor on 10.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
I'm not bad, but I can't do that,
Yes, I'm the same. And I mean, like one of the kids was asking me the other day, was like, "Oh, what do you think the difference was between, like I don't know, V11 strength and V15 strength?" And I said, like, you're strong enough. Like the kid can do like, I don't know, multiple one armors. He can hang 15-20 mil edge with like his body weight, again attached. I'm like,
you've got V17 strength.
Yeah, you have that. Like it's the specific shit that you need to actually just get on the rock and feel what like a weird split hold is like, where it's only good for your middle finger or an uncomfortable pocket that like is odd, or a body position. It's those things.
Yeah. People. So I've always been like, training's tough is because I feel like I'm learning it all on the rock. So I've never had a trainer. So like, maybe I should play around with that and see like if somebody can, nitpick and be like, oh, you need to do this and that. Or is it, climbing, you got to climb and learn how to move. It's not just a sport where you're lifting weight or on a defined playing field. So you have to adapt your sport every single time because you're not doing the same dance, like, so everything is specific. So like, soccer player is going to be playing soccer. So like for me, I've always been more on the side. Like you want to do that rock climb, you got to play on that field. You got to be on that boulder. But it's the hard part is I'm lucky where like my work and have enough money and I can do this and climb outside.
Well, so by many people's standards, you're not that lucky. Okay, you live in Chamonix, but you're 4 hours away from, like the projects that you have. That's a long time. That's something that I think a lot of people would fathom to understand how you would, I guess maybe now things are a little bit easier. You can go and stay at your mate's place. But if you're getting up at 5 a.m, driving 4 hours to Ticino and having a session and then driving 4 hours home, that's like...
I thought I was crazy and Andre was doing it. And I'm like, I found the first person that's as crazy as I am. He got up, drove...
Was he doing that?
He was doing that for Lion Share and stuff. He rolled in, just kind of showed him around the boulders with his buddy Martin and stuff. But he drove in the 4 hours from Arco or whatever, sessioned. He's got a kid, he's got life going on, and he works, like I could consider him a worker. Like to do what he does is a lot. He's got a team, and like anybody, to push that kind of media through and still have a level. Like there's a lot behind the scenes, I'm sure. It's not easy. But just it's motivating. But I think that downtime is great. Like I don't know how much you drive, but I just use it to, I'll reflect on anything, but, climbing, life, whatever. But it's a great time to understand what you did wrong. Like I'll leave a session mad, but the second I'm in the car, I'm already sad. Like I'm like, damn, I'm already thinking about next Saturday.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, this went really well. Like actually it wasn't that bad. And then like, this was good. That was better. That was worse.
Yeah.
Like,
so you actually using that time to reflect and plan and plot.
Oh, always. It's like not wasted. It's not wasted time. It's actually even more beneficial than sometimes the climbing session is important, but that like reflection time and like I said is you got to know why you fell and know what you're going to try different. So like I have a notebook. I don't like read anything back, but I write it down. Like I never looked back through what I write, but I'm like, turn the foot this way, do that. Like next session, you know, oh, I saw Sean did this with his hips. Like try that. So I read all that and then it makes me just remember. But that's my style is like when I write, it makes it like ingrained.
Yeah, okay.
But I never go back.
Are you filming stuff that
I try to if I think it's going to be an important try. But honestly, it's so stressful. I hate it. Like can't be in the moment. It's like I told you, my best session was when like Jim and Herm and these guys came up and I just had support behind me and like, or if my partner's there, I know she'll just like, she doesn't care if I send her or not. She doesn't rock climb at all, but she'll just turn the phone on and like, I don't have to worry about like putting my shoe in, like seeing if it's too cold and the phone's going to die, try to film. But I didn't set
like, do you film the early kind of goes on stuff like from like a video analysis kind of perspective or is it all
always I don't do anything for like it's all for a reason. Like I know I'm not going to do the move, but I want to know why I didn't do it.
Okay.
And then like I was saying is I forgot to say, but even Poison, the reason I did the move is there's like this 2-second, there's this video of, I can't remember which one, but there's like a video with Aiden trying it.
Yeah.
And he's talking to somebody and he says how he does the move, but it's all muffled. And I like cut the volume out and like tuned it up and like he says how he did the move.
Right.
And without fail, like got the same shoes as him, which made a big difference. And then he said how he did it. And then I did it.
And then it worked. Wow.
Yeah. So like, I think listening is the most important thing is like when you can learn something, like I don't even like video. That's why I like podcasts actually is I think listening to what somebody has to say is way more important than video analysis is great. But if somebody can tell you and you can understand through words, or at least how my brain works is like Clem was explaining, he's just like, oh, well, you need to do this with your toe when you go through that. And like that, when somebody can explain something in detail, I feel like it's so much better than, you know, just a video where you have to watch and then your brain has to make a connection from no words to physical movement. It doesn't work as well for me where like, if you told me you're like, dude, on Boogalizing, like when you get up there, you got to move your hips to the right or like left and turn your toe this way on the hold. I can take that in like as if I was you. Like I can pull that information in.
Yeah. So
like I don't know how it works when you train with people, but
Well, I was going to ask about shoes because you mentioned shoes there.
Yeah.
I mean, you've experimented with loads of different ones. What are you looking for in a shoe, or are you just trying to like? So and so wore this shoe on this boulder. I'm going to try it, see if it makes sense.
No, I think I first started it because I thought it was cool. You know, Dave Graham was always like the 2-shoe proponent guy.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was cool. But then I realized at what point like a shoe makes a difference. I remember I was up at the Ice Knife and it's got this toe hook. And I was trying it with all kinds of shoes and could do it. And then I had this idea, like I got a Futura and I knew the toe hook needed to be like better. So I got my buddy that resold to put like a size 43 sole on my size 39. So the toe hook came all the way up and I could chalk up on the move afterwards. And that just made me realize like it makes a huge difference in like the right size shoe as well. Like sometimes I want the shoes to be really tight. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's not as important. I normally like, you know, like Scarpa, I like them to be, I don't like to feel anything actually. I want as much weight through the feet as I can. So I want like boards on my feet for the most part. So like once I learn the boulder, maybe it's better to have some softer shoes. But then once I know it, I want something that I can drive like all my weight through. So like I really like the lace ups now, the green and oranges. So that's normally that's my go-to. And even I got so used to them now. I used to only wear the Velcros, and now I don't like them because they're not the same shape.
Yeah, the shape's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the bummer is they're my favorite, and it's funny, like I'll try a move and can't do it in my other shoes, and I'll just be like, oh, let me put my Green Instincts on real quick, and then I do it every try. Yeah. But on Arrival, that you can do it. Aiden did it in these, but literally the holds demand that like you can do it, and I've done the moves, but it's so much harder in Instincts because the way the point of the shoe is it doesn't enter these pockets.
It won't get in.
I put solutions on it, and I'm literally getting like 10 extra mil of surface area.
Yeah.
So now I got to do it in solution. So I'm training myself. Part of my training is I'm learning how to climb in solutions again.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So I think
you
shoes are
need
huge.
Like new solutions for that thing, or do they need to be slightly broken in? Or
I bought them. I couldn't remember what size I was, so I bought them, and they're a bit too big, so they bend a bit, but they're working. And then I just bought the comps, and I'm trying to break those in and see if those work, because Nikolai would use those, and they seem to work well. But in any case, I need, like, you get that power bump, and like the thing I don't like about the solution is it rounds off at the end, and it's not a sharp like razor edge.
Yeah.
And I got to get used to climbing with that like roundness on the tip of the shoe. Because I used to wear them, and then when I first started climbing, but I didn't have any level to like geek out on shoes. But I'll buy anything, man. Like I bought every shoe that exists, I think.
Yeah.
Basically. But what I do is I buy them and then wear them like 2 sessions, and I'm like, man, this sucks. Like tried Evolves, tried like Unparalleled was good actually. But I buy all of them, wear them a session or 2, and then I just sell them on like that used clothing website, Vinted, for always get ripped off. They're like, people come in, wore the shoe one day on my board.
Someone's like, $30. 30
yeah.
bucks.
I'm like, come on, man. Like I literally bought them yesterday for 180.
Oh.
But I love that. I love testing that stuff because I mean, it is technology. So it's not all the same. Like Mad Rocks, I hate them and I think they're garbage, but I say this to my buddy, I'm like, they're terrible, but I still end up wearing them a lot of the time because they're so stiff. But the problem is the Drone 1 was good, but the Drone 2, it's like, it's so stiff, but the way they 3D molded it is like, there's literally like a 10 mil, I don't know what you call it, 10 mil sole. So like there is zero sensation from like the big toe through the rubber.
Yeah.
But they're super stiff and great at toe hooks. Like if you need a stiff toe hook shoe. But the heel I'm not big on. Like I never really like to do the crimping with the heel. Yeah. But I use them on solitary because I cut the shoe in half on the back to do the heel hook.
Right.
But like nothing for like the ridge, like the Drone cheater heel, but it had a heel cup. I could have done it with Solutions as well, but I didn't want to ruin them because I'm using them for a rival. But I just cut just modified the shoe and cut it in half. And then otherwise, I would have bought 510s, some Anasazis. I've been looking for like the early 2000s Anasazis with the bat because that would hook right on that hold as well. Yeah. So otherwise, you got to glue your shoe every try, which Clem does, and it's just like I just cut my shoe and made it the right thing. But yeah, I mean, shoes are huge. I don't know what you think about that, but
I've always messed around with different shoes. I mean, I wear Scarpas now, but even those, like I'm messing around between Furia Airs and Instincts. I mean, I really like soft shoes.
I was thinking that I saw that you always climb in the soft shoes.
Yeah,
and
maybe it's like a weight thing. A lot of it I know is a feeling thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. That's the same thing. Like you're in. I weigh like anywhere from 65 to 70, depending on if I'm creatining up or what, and I'm not that heavy.
Yeah.
But the shoes are like bending in half on me. When I can wear them in the winter, when it's cold, I can wear soft shoes, but I think it just depends, like conditions and everything. Like shoe rubber temp, that's huge. Like people don't play around with that as much. Like that's huge. Actually, is the right temperature of the rubber on the rock. I mean, it's like car tires. Like same thing. I mean, they have a bandwidth of like operation.
And I definitely agree. Like summer, I prefer a slightly stiffer shoe. Winter, I tend to go a bit softer. And like you said, excess grip, excess edge. To me, it changes a little bit. Again, depends on the temperature. But I think it's just something you could, if you're able to. And I think a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, like I can't, spend all this money on shoes." Go and buy your shoes on Vinted, like, because you're always
they're available.
Exactly. You have to put like a link in the description of your Vinted shop so people can buy.
No, I don't have any now. But the funny thing is I buy them all, and then I always just come back to the Instinct. So honestly, I do like 95% of everything, like the green lace ups, and then maybe I need one shoe that's different on the left foot or something. But
and then
I kind of
you just bring a bunch to the boulder and decide
always
try them out and
I mean, I've got like all the different Scarpas, my Solutions, I even still have my old 510 Dragons that sometimes are really good. You know, the OGs.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I bust those out because they're really good on specific things. And like that heel hook, it was bad, but the heel was so thin that it can fit on holds that like these more rounded, newer school style heels don't work on. Yeah. So like I'll bring everything. Like when I go up to, even still at Arrival, like now I know I need the solutions, but I hate using them because I only need it for one move.
Yeah.
And it's just the second. The rest of the boulder, I feel so much stronger with the Scarpas.
Yeah.
But Aiden did it, but it's just like you do this flip to a 2-finger pocket and just the Scarpa doesn't enter the hold the same way. And I put the solutions on and I don't fall.
You just get in there.
And it's, but like, shoe choice.
I mean, sometimes it's like 10%, 20%, 30% on a single move, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Literally.
I think even just being open to that possibility and trying a few different shoes, I think is like people could benefit a lot from that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not that expensive at the end of the day. You think about other sports that people pay for.
Yeah.
Like I remember I used to play soccer and that was like my dream, play pro soccer. My mom was spending thousands to like, you know, these competitions, driving me here, driving me there. Yeah. Climbing overall, 10 pairs of shoes, you're for $1,000 if you're not like sponsored. And I mean, in the grand scheme, I mean, but you know, everybody's got different means, so it's not fair to say that, but like,
but when you consider like, you know, we pay for fuel to go somewhere, and then most of the time you don't pay for parking, you don't pay to enter somewhere like you'd pay to enter.
Yeah.
Like you go play golf or you do some shit, you pay in like a membership or whatever. Okay, you pay that to go to the gym, but you don't pay that to go climb rock. You know, you need pads, but then
it's a free sport.
And,
that's what I was going to ask you about Waco. Is like all my buddies are like, Sam, you got to go to Waco and do Terre-Mer. And I'm like, no, because I really want to go, but I'm really off put by paying to rock climb and then paying to like get guided around. I don't know what your experience was. I was curious about that because
it is a faff. I mean, I was really lucky. A mate that I'd met years ago in Ticino actually is a guide and was really kind and just essentially let us climb with him. So that made life way easier. But you know, you could go to North just with reservations, but then you've got to make those reservations 3 months in advance. So
it's not easy. So
you kind of need.
I just never went
when you go in, and you would love it though. I mean, you
just ain't cut crimps, moving slow. I mean, you did not Gual, and that's like that would be a dream line for me. Like I would love to do that. Yeah. And Terre-Mer just, you know, he opened that. I don't even know what year he did that in. Crimping like that's him and like Cristiano Corre. Those two are like, you know, haven't got to spend time with them, but just like when Christian talks about Joya and like this like calm, but like that's what I like is like sometimes you see it is like this fire burning in somebody, like you see that passion and like through somebody, and that's my favorite thing ever is like when I see somebody or like my buddy John, I saw he was all psyched and like you can tell when somebody like loves it. There's like a difference, and I don't know, and I love that. We're like, I could geek out about climbing with you like all day, man. Yeah. Or even yesterday, your buddies from Sheffield. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna give one last try, Mom, just on this, and then I did it, and then I sat there just talking to them for like an hour while my mom's freezing. Just,
how were they there? Like, why did they decide to go?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, one of the buddies. His parents have a place in Verbier, which isn't that far away. So you know, Switzerland is, I mean, you know how it is. Like a 1 week trip could be $3,000. So it's like, if you have the housing sorted, it makes it a feasible plan.
Makes sense.
Even for me, like I stay away from Switzerland. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
Like
that's expensive to.
Like a van was cheaper than paying Airbnbs.
Yeah. All right.
But so they're out there, but we got to wrap up, I guess, too. I got to catch.
Yeah. We're going to get kicked off here, but I like to end with a this or that. So it's literally just one thing or the other, and then I'll let you go. So Ticino or Valley?
Valley.
Colorado or Magic Wood?
Colorado, for sure.
Full crimp or open hand?
You know that. Full crimp, man.
Okay. Perfect
all
skin.
Day.
Perfect skin or perfect conditions?
Perfect conditions.
Yeah. Board climbing or fingerboarding?
Fingerboarding.
I know the answer to this next one. Flashing or projecting?
Projecting, yeah.
Morning session or evening session?
Guess evening, yeah, because I work full time.
Rest days or climb every day?
Rest days.
New shoe or broken in shoe?
New shoes.
Van life or Airbnb?
Airbnb, I'm old.
Yeah, I keep saying that.
There's nothing better than recovering, man.
True, man. A shower and a bed, you can't beat it. Fred or Clem?
Oh man, that's too personal. I'm gonna say Clem because he's my buddy.
Okay, fair enough. And then last one, REM or Poison the Well?
Poison the Well.
Good choice. Cool. All right. Nice one, man.
Yeah, man. That was fun.
That was great.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Speak to you soon, right?
Yeah, cheers. Thanks a lot, man.
Bye.
Yeah, see ya.
Hope you enjoyed this episode with Sam. There was so much interesting stuff in there, and honestly, we could have carried on talking another couple of hours about climbing. If you've got any questions that we didn't kind of get around to, I'd love to get Sam back on for another episode, so let us know any questions you might have for him, and we'll see you on the next one.